Okay, I promise a very quick one. I know it's lunchtime, so I was told that to do this very quickly. But anyway, uh, thanks to all the speakers and including our friends Carrie from One Smart Star. Now today we hear very interesting topics about digital transformation and digitalization itself. Now, before I open up the questions to the floor, I just have one questions for each and every speakers. Perhaps you want to take turn to answer to this itself. Now, we've seen a lot of rejections, about digitalizing, even on a personal side, from a company's point of view also. So, as a subject expert matters in this area of digitalization, what would be your advice for someone who wants to switch from traditional approach to digital? Because this is about digital transformation, isn't it? So how can you do it, or how should you do it? And if you were to miss the boat, what will happen? Probably starting from Priya.
Okay, it's quite tough question. Take just 1 minute, okay? I think for me, digitalization is about understanding yourselves and understand how to connect with others. So people always looking at how to connect with others. People spend less time understanding yourselves, understanding your values. It's just a value system, it's not just single values. So try to bring it inside out. Try to understand how valued you are, and please be proud of who you are. Even your company, every single brand has a story, has what you have achieved in the past and present, and of course in the future, what you're gonna do for yourself, for the people surrounding you, for the society, and wrap it up, brief it up, and then try to find a way to connect with the customer out there. Please understand the customer journey, and everything will be fine with the digitalization. Yeah.
Okay, there's a soundbite here, I guess. I would say that if you are coming from traditional marketing, I think you're in a very good position. You should maintain all your values. The one thing that I think that digital can offer a lot, which the traditional cannot, is analysis, measurement, count. You should be asking all, and I mean all the hard questions regarding analysis and counts. Count all the responses, measure how people react, they respond, what do they do. These are things not available in traditional mode, but it can be done online. And I think you should take serious advantage of that and ask really critical questions of your group of people there.
I will say from our experience, the difference between the traditional marketing and the digital marketing. Before, when we used to do business, we were concerned with the professional people, talking with the people dealing with the billboard, with the newspaper writing. Today, it is very important to understand every single person, he has something to say. We can learn from him. He's participate in the digital marketing. So we learn about it a lot, and all the time we try to get group of people to ask them what is the reaction and to learn from them, because everybody is post on Facebook. Andrew Chai says he's doing in LinkedIn. You think it's for job, but no, this is a marketing platform. So you need to listen from everybody, from the individual, from the youngest people to older people, to learn a lot and to know how to modernize your businesses.
Well, you have heard from my co-founder on the engine technology. I think in Asia Pacific, or rather in Singapore, it's about implementation. You have heard, you hear a lot of things. I guess the stuff is about how you're going to embark and implement those technology and knowledge that you acquire. Like for us, One Smart Star Asia, when we gather about what can be done, but good technology sometimes can't sell. You need to have good strategic partners. For example, today, with MIS, we plan to have an acknowledgement, MOUs, strategic alliances, and then with QBE Singapore, we have a partnership with QBE. So what we're saying here is that when the clients subscribe to us, we actually provide them bundle services, and something that they have not thought before, or is too expensive to embark on. So with this kind of bundling service that we put forward to home office, individual, SMEs, and large corporation, this become possible. So this is about implementation, about getting started and getting on the way. Like what Andrew said, me, mass, message, and messenger, right? So I think that's the key message. when we embark and implement here in Singapore.
Okay, I think I have the mic. Okay, mine is very simple. It's not a technology, it's not a digital technology. It is managing the effects of technology. Because most of the time, it's easy to learn something new as a skill, as a knowledge. But to convert that into an attitude, it's very, very challenging. I like to share 3 V's with you. You've got to manage these 3 V's with digital transformation. The first V is volume. You've got to handle the volume of data coming in. Number 2, handle the velocity, the speed of info coming to you. Number 3, you need to handle the variety. Because info are coming from everywhere, in all shapes and sizes, in different form. You've got to manage all this. And with transformation, you have more power. The crux is how to use that power to convert info into intelligence. I think that is the crux of the whole matter here.
Okay, so I take it from the insights, just to summarize that. First, I think through digital transformation itself, you'll be able to enhance value, including branding. And of course, from digital itself, we are able to get analytics out of it. And so that, we'll be able to derive something that's meaningful in order for us to serve our customers or our client. And on top of that, how you manage that, okay? So I probably will open to questions from the floor itself at this time. So there are mics on both the aisles. So if anyone from the floor would like to ask our panel of experts on any questions? Anyone? No, if not, then I'm going to throw the next question to the panel itself. And this probably will be my last questions for today. But having said that, don't leave, because we're going to have a very interesting performance, which I think the last I've seen the performance was being done in front of our ex-president of Singapore, Dr. Tony Tan. So he's preparing, so stay on. It's going to be very exciting for that performance. And of course, if you've seen there's a digital backdrop there, we're talking about digitalization anyway, so please take your pictures before you leave, okay? All right, so free pictures to be taken. Now, my last questions for today would be, what is the next level after digitalization itself, or is there one? Or how will this trend stays on? So can you give us an insight towards digitalization? At what perhaps in future itself, what comes after digitalization itself?
Okay, well, the day after digitalization, it's like the question when I will ask, what is come after 4.0? Is it there is 5.0 or not? It's actually what we can call the hybrid. The understanding how digital, physical, biological, and mechanical living together harmoniously. In the future, you will see that it will be more intensive. We will have more robotics because of AI development. I used to be in the AI field. I'm an engineer in the background. So I know AI since 10 years ago, but it just, comes up in the public because of robotics become more obvious. And, biological, people get evolving all the time. We become, in Thailand, we have aged society. We have much more people aging than 60 years old. They got something to do with them, okay? And digital, of course, digital turning as a bridge to close the gap, all of the things. And don't forget that we're living in physical world. We should have to eat, we contact with the people, we talk, we live in physical world. So these 4 worlds will be seamless connecting together. And people who understand the new journey that I call hybrid consumer journey will understand how to get people in the right time, right space, as they say. So understanding the future is about understanding the hybrid system, understanding the whole world together.
Okay, so let me begin by telling you that I cannot predict what my wife will do. You asked me to predict the future, so I'm probably wrong here, right? I would say that we're probably having kind of excitement over digital, as well as AI, machine learning, neural networks, and so forth. So we are kind of excited now. But if you look at kind of history, nothing old is really abandoned. Nothing totally left out. I mean, we're still using books. We're still using radio. Okay, through Telegram is no longer around. But by and large, we don't really abandon everything from the past. So I agree with Piyacha that we will still have some kind of hybrid. We are probably in a Simon stage, and we might probably shift back so that we are a little bit more using sort of traditional, whatever's been there before. And that's why I said that at the beginning, earlier, that if you are from the traditional marketing, you are in a very good position. Things will, like bell bottoms probably will come back at some point in fashion.
You know, when I'm thinking about that, first of all, I'm afraid to call it a future because I'm afraid with what is coming next. I must tell you a short story. Many years ago, when my father came to me and I saw me, it was the first e-fax machine of HP. And he was back then 90 years old, and he saw me sending a fax. He says, David, what are you doing? I said, I'm sending a fax, and whatever on this letter, he will get to my engineer in the other side. He says, unbelievable, where you are going to do. And I'm talking about the fax machine. Today, with the future, I believe very soon, and I agree with what the professor says, we will go back because I'm traveling all around the globe. We mentioned we have a local partner in 77 countries, and I'm happy to say that me personal, I have a map in my office. I visited 112 countries already. And I can tell you there is a trend in Costa Rica. You will hear me saying Costa Rica, because they are opening a place in the jungle that you can go there, release your phone, no connection to the internet, just be like 100 years ago. And I believe very soon we'll find ourselves moving to that place because I really feel that we catch to the top. We cannot move more in that technology.
Well, I remember 10 years ago when I was in Thailand and spoke about the new things, what is in. A question that I asked the audience, I say, who has got a smartphone, you know? Everybody just stare at one another because those days, 10 years ago, smartphone is like a very expensive device. If today, if I ask you in this room, who has got feature phone in your hand? Who has got feature phone? Old phone? World change. Singapore statistics today, 8.3 million mobile phone subscribers. Statistics shows that 7 in 10 social media server log in on the go. Double the habit of the world. The world probably spend 35% of them serve the social media on the go, but Singapore is 7 in 10. So I'm quite sure in 2020, the number of mobile phone subscribers probably exceed beyond 5 billion. So what does it mean? It means that we have to be in that space commercially to make it viable, feasible, for us to be in there. If we are not in that space because of some unique reasons, then we probably somehow stay on in a mess all the time. Okay?
I think what comes after digital transformation is digital internalization. Because I think we have to internalize technology, internalize the path to the future. We have to take stock now before the next transformation. Because if we don't internalize, we are not going to appreciate how far we have done, how far we have progressed in technology. We all need to be good communicators. Let's face it, we have so much technology now for you to communicate. I give an example. My niece, when she texts me, she just texts me with, are we going this? Are we doing that? And I always reply, hello, I'm your uncle. Please greet me before you send the first message. I'm very particular because all the tools in the world is supposed to make us more relatable, not sending a message. And that is why if you take it as a messenger, you can expect to be fired by SMS. And your employer is not accountable to you. We have to be good communicator. Only internalization, then we can move forward. And a famous CEO once said recently, I am not afraid of robots, AI, thinking like human. I'm more afraid of human thinking like robots or AI. That is very true, right? Because transformation doesn't mean we become robot. We ought to be more human so that we can humanize technology, and that is really about branding. If today is all about technology, then whoever knows the most will win. We don't want technology to be an elitist separator. Because in 20 years, if you don't hop onto the wagon, you know next to nothing. And information is locked up by people who hold and know how to leverage technology. So that is my last takeaway.
Well, thank you. I think from the panel of speakers itself, I think you will know that, and thanks, Prof, for validating that fact that traditional marketers like me still have a place for future. Okay, I think let's give a round of applause to our panel of speakers today. Thank you so much. But before we go, I think I just want to announce that MIS is already on One Smart Star solution. And so how can our audience here get onto the platform to view our MIS One Smart Star apps?
Okay. I'm sure you have smartphone, not feature phone, right? Who has got feature phone? Don't have. So you have smartphone, right? So all you need to do is go to your app stores, go to Google Play, key the word star phone, 2 words, star space phone, download it, and then you open it. Just now David played the movie, just dial star MIS, or on the UI itself, you can see on the top left corner, you see MIS. You click on it, then you see the profile, the landing page of MIS.
Okay, thank you. Now, if you would like that kind of profile, online profile or engagement with your audience, I think Carrie and David will be here even after the conference itself outside. So, yeah, if you like that for your company or for your organization, please approach them. Okay? So, nevertheless, thanks everyone. Thank you so much. We'll go on to our next performance. Please stay on. Please stay on.